Alex Harper had always prided himself on being prepared. Years of training as a commander in the United Earth Exploration Corps had taught him how to navigate hostile worlds, handle unpredictable situations, and think fast under pressure. Yet, as he stepped into the labyrinthine corridors of the Navarra Prime Research Station, he realized that no amount of preparation could have accounted for the disorienting complexity of alien architecture. The station stretched in all directions, a twisting web of corridors that seemed to defy human logic. Lights hummed softly above him, pulsing with a rhythm that made his pulse quicken. Alex adjusted the strap of his exploration pack, mentally reviewing the station's schematics stored in his tablet. According to the map, he should be heading to the laboratory on Deck 5. But the corridors here all looked the same, metallic walls that curved at strange angles, doors with symbols he didn't recognize, and narrow windows that revealed glimpses of machinery moving in synchronized patterns. Alex paused at a junction, consulting his tablet. A soft chime indicated the device was low on energy, adding to his unease. He glanced at the door ahead. It didn't have the markings he expected for the laboratory, but curiosity, paired with his habit of double-checking every corner, compelled him to move forward. He pressed the panel beside the door. The surface slid open silently, revealing a room bathed in soft, bluish light. Inside, two figures stood at a large console, their backs to him. They were taller than humans, their forms graceful and fluid, with skin that shimmered in hues of silver and lavender. Their hair fell like fine metal threads down their shoulders, and their eyes, reflecting the room's glow, were wide and intelligent. They were clearly working on something delicate, their hands moving in precise, practiced motions. Alex froze. He hadn't intended to intrude, but the scene before him was fascinating. He took a cautious step forward. "Excuse me," he said, his voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through him. The figures turned. Alex felt a jolt of surprise. Their eyes, larger and more complex than human eyes, studied him carefully. They did not blink immediately, a fact that made his skin crawl slightly. One of them raised a hand, and a soft, melodic sound filled the room. He guessed it was a greeting or a command. He raised his hand slowly. "I'm Commander Alex Harper. I didn't mean to enter. I thought this was another lab." "You are not supposed to be here," she said in clear English, though the accent was unfamiliar, smooth, and almost musical. "This is restricted." Not allowed. He had read about alien security protocols, but this was different. These beings were intelligent, but their approach was not hostile. It was firm, controlled, and purposeful. He realized instantly that trying to force his way out would be foolish. "Then, what do you want from me?" he asked carefully, keeping his voice calm. The silver-skinned alien, whom he now recognized as the taller of the two, gestured toward a nearby console. "You are a human. We need to know if you are capable. If you are dangerous, you must be contained. If you are useful, you may remain under supervision." "I am an explorer, a researcher. I just made a mistake." "Your cooperation will determine whether you leave unharmed." "Tell me what you need me to do." He observed the glowing symbols, trying to understand their function. Unlike human devices, these seemed to respond to thought patterns and logical reasoning rather than physical input. His first instinct was to approach calmly, study, and adapt. The lavender-skinned alien spoke again. "First question. If you are dropped into a closed system, how would you determine if it is self-sustaining?" "Determine if the system recycles resources efficiently. If energy and matter remain constant, it is likely self-sustaining. If losses occur, it is not." "How would you stabilize it?" "If possible, I would use adaptive tools or introduce compensating variables to balance the system. I have learned to trust observation and logic. In unfamiliar environments, rushing leads to mistakes. You will remain here while we conduct a critical experiment. Any interference could be catastrophic." He realized that their experiment involved manipulating interdimensional energy, something humanity had only theorized. "This is remarkable," he said softly, more to himself than to them. "Silence," the lavender-skinned alien said sharply, though not unkindly. "Focus. Observation without interference is required. You may watch, but do not touch." He watched their hands move over the console, small gestures producing large effects in the lattice of energy. The air felt charged, almost alive. He could sense the potential danger, yet also the immense knowledge contained in this room. As minutes passed, Alex noticed a subtle anomaly in the energy patterns. A small fluctuation, barely perceptible but growing. His mind raced. Could this become unstable? He knew he had to alert them, but carefully, without seeming to interfere. "Excuse me," he said, keeping his voice calm. "I think there's a fluctuation in the lower matrix. It might need adjustment. It's minor now, but if it grows, it could affect the whole experiment." His intuition and attentiveness, traits often dismissed, were proving useful. The silver-skinned alien nodded. "You may remain. Your presence assists our work." More importantly, he had earned their respect, a fragile but crucial step. As he watched the aliens resume their work, he realized something profound. Humans were not just explorers or soldiers. They were innovators, problem solvers, and survivors, capable of rising to challenges that seemed impossible. And in this strange, alien room on Nivara Prime, Alex Harper was about to prove it. The door remained open behind him, a symbolic boundary between safety and the unknown. For now, he stayed, observing, learning, and preparing for the challenges ahead. In this room, in the presence of two extraordinary alien beings, humanity had a chance to show its worth, and Alex was determined to seize it. Alex Harper had expected the next hours to be quiet, a period of observation where he would simply watch the aliens conduct their experiment. But the moment the first surge in the energy lattice had stabilized, it became clear that staying passive would not be enough. Lyra and Tessa, the silver and lavender-skinned aliens, were highly intelligent and alert. They had allowed him to remain because of his accurate observation, but now their focus had shifted. He could sense the challenge growing, an invisible test that would probe not only his intellect but his ability to adapt. The room pulsed with soft light as Lyra's fingers danced over the console, adjusting panels that seemed to float above the surface. Tessa hovered nearby, her large eyes scanning complex symbols that flickered like living code. Alex tried to make sense of what they were doing, but it was unlike any technology he had ever encountered. The room was alive in a way that made him feel small, like he was standing inside a carefully balanced storm. "You must learn our logic," Lyra said suddenly, her voice calm but precise. "Only then will you be safe here. Observation is not enough. Understanding is required." "What do you do?" "I test hypotheses in my mind. If necessary, I introduce minor adjustments, calculated to redirect energy safely without interrupting the overall process. I avoid assumptions and rely on evidence." Humans were often dismissed in interstellar diplomacy as primitive or limited, but here, his adaptability was an asset. "I have learned to survive," he said, "and survival depends on flexibility." The energy responded instantly, shifting colors and shapes as though acknowledging her presence. "You may assist," she said finally. "Observe carefully, correct any flaw before it escalates, but do not interfere recklessly. Your understanding must be proven." He could see small irregularities in the energy streams, subtle points where the flow seemed to strain against invisible boundaries. Taking a deep breath, he spoke. "If I adjust the lower lattice by redistributing energy to the stabilizer nodes, it might prevent a surge. But the timing must be precise. You trust instinct guided by reasoning. You may proceed." "You are capable," Tessa said quietly. "Human intuition can complement precision. You have potential." But here, his adaptability, intelligence, and quick thinking mattered. He was contributing, not just observing. The moment of satisfaction was interrupted by a sudden ripple through the lattice. A flash of light shot across the room, and Alex instinctively moved to adjust the flow. Lyra and Tessa reacted immediately, their hands and gestures moving faster than he could track, but he followed the pattern, coordinating his small actions with theirs. "This is an unexpected fluctuation," Lyra said calmly. "Most humans would panic. You do not. Observation and action do." Tessa approached him, her eyes bright with what Alex could only interpret as curiosity. "You see the connections others miss. You notice the subtle imbalance that could escalate. That is human strength. That is power in a system where rigidity can be fatal. Failure is not fatal, but repeated errors will limit your freedom. You must understand balance, patience, and foresight." With careful guidance, he suggested adjustments, sometimes asking questions to clarify the intent of certain manipulations. "You are learning quickly," Tessa said. "Your questions show comprehension beyond initial observation. You are beginning to anticipate outcomes while respecting boundaries." In this room, among beings who could have dismissed him, humans had a place, not as subordinates but as partners capable of contributing in ways unique to their species. Hours passed, but time seemed elastic inside the room. The lattice of energy shifted, pulsed, and changed in patterns that defied human logic, yet Alex adapted, learning faster than he thought possible. Lyra and Tessa watched, sometimes offering subtle guidance, other times observing silently. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Lyra spoke. "You have done well. You see patterns, correct errors, and respect the system. You have demonstrated understanding. You may move within certain areas of the station while supervised. You are no longer a passive observer." Humanity, he realized, had more power than many believed, not through weapons or technology alone, but through creativity, intelligence, and courage in the face of the unknown. As he left the room under the watchful eyes of Lyra and Tessa, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. This encounter was only the beginning. Humans had a place in the galaxy, not as weak intruders, but as intelligent, adaptable beings capable of contributing to knowledge and survival in ways no one could predict. The corridors of the Navara Prime Station no longer seemed intimidating. Every turn and symbol now felt like a challenge waiting to be solved. Alex knew he had much to learn, but he also understood one crucial fact. Humans could rise to meet the universe's most complex challenges, and sometimes, a single human mind, applied carefully, could make a difference that even advanced civilizations could not ignore. He returned to the observation area, watching the lattice pulse in its strange, alien rhythm. Lyra and Tessa continued their work, now acknowledging him as more than an intruder. For the first time since entering the station, Alex felt a real connection, a bridge forming between humans and beings who seemed so different yet were now willing to accept him as a contributor. And in that moment, Alex Harper realized that the wrong room had led him to the right place. Not by chance, but by proving that humanity, in its ingenuity, could stand alongside the most advanced beings in the galaxy. Alex Harper had settled into a rhythm with Lyra and Tessa. Each day on the Navara Prime Station brought new lessons, new challenges, and a deepening understanding of alien technology. What had begun as a mistaken entry into a restricted room had grown into something remarkable. A human working alongside beings far more advanced, using his intuition, reasoning, and adaptability to contribute to experiments that stretched the limits of human understanding. Today, the energy lattice that had captured Alex's attention from the beginning was more complex than ever. Lyra and Tessa were monitoring interdimensional flows, carefully weaving streams of energy into a pattern that could stabilize a new form of clean power for their civilization. The lattice shimmered with translucent light, pulsing like the heartbeat of the station itself. Alex observed quietly, his hands hovering over the control interface, ready to assist if needed. He noticed something subtle, a small, irregular fluctuation at one of the lattice's nodes. It was almost invisible, A faint wobble in the light, but Alex's human intuition, honed by years of training, exploration, and problem-solving, recognized it immediately. "This node," he said cautiously, pointing at the flickering section. "It's off balance. If we don't correct it, it could spread through the lattice. Then I'd monitor the effect, adjusting dynamically if needed." "Human instinct and logic combined," she murmured. "A rare combination. Begin your adjustment." Lyra and Tessa watched intently, their eyes reflecting surprise and approval. "You have done well," Lyra said. "Your intervention demonstrates comprehension beyond mere observation. You are beginning to think in our framework." The sense of satisfaction was short-lived. A sudden ripple moved through the lattice, faster and stronger than before. Lights shifted, and the soft hum of the station became a low, vibrating tone that seemed to resonate in Alex's chest. He realized instantly that the anomaly he had just corrected was part of a larger pattern, an instability spreading through the system that even advanced aliens could not ignore. "We have a cascade forming," Lyra said sharply. "Energy is spreading beyond predicted channels. If uncorrected, it could destabilize the entire lattice. Then we need to isolate the cascade. We can create temporary barriers to contain the energy while redirecting the excess." For the first time, Alex felt like a true partner rather than a cautious observer. Lyra gestured to the interface, showing him the nodes that needed immediate adjustment. Alex worked with precision, his human mind processing patterns and predicting outcomes almost instinctively. Hours passed in a tense blur. The lattice pulsed violently at times, but Alex and the aliens coordinated seamlessly, moving in rhythm with the energy's flow. Alex marveled at the technology. Nodes floated without support, light streams twisted through invisible conduits, and energy behaved like liquid, responding instantly to intention and touch. Despite the complexity, he adapted. Humans excelled at improvisation, and this was a perfect example. The lattice responded to precise logic, but creativity was what prevented disaster. "Redistribute here," Lyra instructed, pointing to a particularly unstable section. Alex hesitated only a fraction of a second before sending a calculated pulse. The energy aligned. A faint hum of relief seemed to ripple through the room. "You are exceptional," Tessa said, her tone serious. "Humans are not expected to manage these flows. You are proving their value beyond simple observation." Another wave of instability appeared, faster than the previous one. Alex adjusted his calculations, coordinating with Lyra and Tessa, and together they contained the cascade before it could spread further. For the first time, Alex realized the magnitude of their work. This was more than an experiment. It was a delicate orchestration of forces that could impact entire systems if mishandled. And humans, often considered weak or primitive, were now contributing in a way that even advanced aliens could respect. "You are learning quickly," Lyra said, her voice calm but authoritative. "Your understanding of cause and effect, combined with initiative, allows you to act where others might fail. You must act decisively and responsibly. Sometimes instinct is faster than calculation, but calculation prevents mistakes." Alex watched, learning every movement, every subtle gesture, every flicker of light. "You have done more than observe," Lyra said. "You have corrected errors, stabilized the system, and shown insight. Humans are more capable than many believe." But here, in a room filled with advanced intelligence and interdimensional energy, humans were proving that their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability mattered. Tessa stepped closer. "You see patterns that we expect others to miss. Your intuition complements logic. That is remarkable. We survive." It was about humanity asserting its worth in a galaxy that often dismissed it. By showing creativity, reasoning, and courage, humans could make a difference where others might fail. For the next several hours, Alex worked alongside Lyra and Tessa, stabilizing minor fluctuations, monitoring energy flows, and offering suggestions based on his observations. Each time the aliens considered his input, sometimes adjusting his ideas, sometimes following them exactly. The rhythm of collaboration grew stronger, and Alex began to feel a deep sense of connection, not just to the aliens, but to the larger possibilities of human potential. As the day drew to a close, the energy lattice settled into a perfectly balanced state. Light streams intertwined, forming patterns that were beautiful and precise, stable yet dynamic. Alex stepped back, feeling the exhaustion of concentrated work but also the exhilaration of accomplishment. "You have proven yourself," Lyra said. "Humans may be physically weaker, but your mind adapts where rigidity would fail. You are valuable. You demonstrate the potential of your species. Intelligence, courage, creativity, humans can rise to meet challenges that others would consider impossible." Yet here on Nivara Prime, among beings who had mastered technology far beyond human capability, he had proven that human ingenuity and adaptability could matter. He glanced at the lattice, glowing softly in the quiet of the observation room. Every pulse, every shimmer, felt like a heartbeat, not just of the station, but of a partnership forming between humans and aliens. And in that moment, Alex Harper understood that the universe was vast, full of challenges and possibilities, and humanity had a place among the stars, not as weak observers but as capable, innovative contributors. And as he prepared to leave the observation area, he knew that this was only the beginning. The real tests, the challenges that would truly show what humans could do, were still ahead. But he felt ready. He had learned to trust himself, to trust human ingenuity, and to rise to meet the impossible. In the quiet hum of the Nivara Prime Station, Alex Harper smiled. Humanity had made its first real mark, and this was only the start of a journey that could change everything. The Nivara Prime Station hummed with energy, glowing softly as the interdimensional lattice stabilized under Alex Harper's guidance. For the first time, he felt a sense of belonging here. The aliens, Lyra and Tessa, no longer treated him as an outsider but as a partner. Yet despite the calm, Alex could feel an undercurrent of tension. Energy readings in the far corners of the station showed subtle irregularities, and his instincts told him that the peace would not last. "Alex," Lyra said suddenly, her tone sharp, "there is a disturbance in the auxiliary nodes. It is spreading faster than we predicted." "Can it be contained?" he asked, moving closer to the console. "It must," Tessa said. "If it reaches the central lattice, the entire system could fail. The experiment will be destroyed and the station may suffer structural damage." The energy was moving in unpredictable ways, testing the limits of both alien and human understanding. He glanced at Lyra and Tessa. Their calm was precise, controlled, but he knew they relied on his ability to adapt quickly and think creatively. "Show me the path of the disturbance," he said. Lyra gestured to the holographic display above the console. A network of glowing threads twisted and writhed like serpents, highlighting the unstable nodes. Alex studied the map, noting the energy's rapid progression. His mind worked through possible solutions, calculating the timing, flow, and impact of every potential action. "We need to create barriers," Alex said finally. "Temporary containment fields that will slow the spread. Then we can redirect the excess energy into secondary stabilizers while protecting the main lattice." Alex moved his hands over the controls, guiding the flow toward these new shields. Every action had to be exact. Even a small miscalculation could amplify the instability instead of containing it. The energy surged violently. The lattice pulsed in bright waves, filling the room with dazzling light. Alex felt the hum vibrating through his chest, the pressure building with each passing second. He focused, keeping his mind clear. Observation alone would not save them. He had to act decisively, relying on human intuition guided by logic. "Redirect the secondary flow now," Alex shouted, calculating the precise moment to send excess energy into the stabilizers. His hands moved quickly, coordinating with Lyra and Tessa. The energy responded, twisting and bending into the containment fields. For a moment it seemed as though the surge would overwhelm them. Sparks of light shot across the lattice, nodes flickering in alarm. Alex's pulse raced, but he stayed calm. "Steady," he muttered to himself. "Focus on patterns, anticipate movement, act before it escalates." He sent a precise pulse into the node, carefully balancing the inflow and outflow of energy. The lattice shuddered, then began to stabilize. Streams of light aligned, the dangerous pulses fading into steady, harmonious flow. Lyra exhaled softly. "You acted quickly, too fast for most beings to respond correctly. Your timing saved the lattice. We worked together. Humans alone would have struggled, but with your guidance." He paused, letting the thought finish itself. Humans, even with limitations, could contribute when trust, cooperation, and ingenuity were applied. Tessa studied him, her expression thoughtful. "You are proving that adaptability can rival precision. Few beings can adjust in real time while maintaining the system's integrity. Contain them while we stabilize the auxiliary channels." As the final fluctuations settled, the lattice shimmered in a steady rhythm. Alex exhaled, feeling the tension drain from his body. "It's stable," he said. Lyra turned to him, her eyes reflecting approval. "You have performed remarkably. You did not panic under pressure, and your decisions were precise. You demonstrate that humans can act decisively without losing awareness. That is strength." Alex realized something profound. Humans were more than just explorers or soldiers. They were innovators capable of rising to challenges even the most advanced civilizations might struggle with. Suddenly, an alert flashed across the console. A new disturbance was detected, smaller than the previous one but faster and more erratic. Alex's eyes narrowed. "It's not over," he said. "We need to anticipate this next surge before it escalates." "We'll need a new approach," Alex said. "Divide and redirect the energy into multiple channels simultaneously. It will require perfect timing and coordination. You provide the guidance, and I'll manage the flow." At one point, a node flickered dangerously, threatening to collapse the containment fields. Alex reacted instinctively, sending a corrective pulse that redistributed energy and stabilized the lattice instantly. He felt the surge reverberate through the room, the hum growing louder but controlled. "You adapted faster than expected," Lyra said, her voice calm but tinged with admiration. "Humans are unpredictable in a way that benefits structured systems. We are regaining control, thanks to your coordination." Alex sank back slightly, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced a crisis that could have destroyed the experiment, and together they had succeeded. Lyra turned to him, her expression reflecting both approval and curiosity. "You have shown humans can contribute meaningfully under extreme pressure. Your species, adaptability and intelligence are underestimated." Humanity had often been overlooked in the galaxy, but moments like this, where courage, intelligence, and adaptability mattered, showed that humans could make a difference in ways that others might never expect. As the room quieted, Alex studied the lattice one last time. Each pulse, each shimmer, was a reminder of what could be achieved when different species worked together, respecting strengths and compensating for weaknesses. Humans were adaptable, courageous, and creative, traits that even advanced civilizations recognized and valued. "I think we did it," Alex said softly, more to himself than anyone else. "Yes," Lyra agreed. "Together we stabilized what could have been lost. You have earned a place among us, not as a visitor but as a collaborator." The wrong room had led him to this moment, a chance to demonstrate humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. The crisis had tested him, but it had also revealed what humans could achieve in the galaxy when given the opportunity. As he prepared to leave the observation area, Alex realized that this experience was only the beginning. There would be more challenges ahead, more experiments, more threats, more tests of human ingenuity, but he felt ready. Humanity had a place in the stars, not as weak observers but as capable, intelligent contributors. For the first time, Alex Harper truly believed that humans could not only survive in the galaxy but could thrive and make a difference, proving their worth to civilizations far more advanced than themselves. And in the quiet glow of the Navara Prime Station, Alex felt a spark of hope, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. Alex Harper stood at the edge of the observation platform, watching the energy lattice pulse in steady, rhythmic waves. After the crisis in the auxiliary nodes, the station had returned to a calm hum, almost serene. Yet Alex knew the work here was far from over. Lyra and Tessa moved gracefully around the console, making subtle adjustments and checking systems that Alex could hardly comprehend. Still, he felt a sense of belonging. He had entered the wrong room by accident, yet through skill, observation, and human ingenuity, he had earned the trust and respect of two beings far more advanced than himself. "Alex," Lyra said, her silver skin catching the soft glow of the lattice, "you have proven humans are capable in ways we did not anticipate. Your species shows adaptability, courage, and intelligence that many civilizations underestimate. We just need a chance to show them. I learned from you, and you trusted me enough to let me help." They were a confirmation of what he had always believed about humanity. Humans were not the strongest physically, nor the most technologically advanced in the galaxy. But they had something unique, the ability to adapt, to think creatively under pressure, and to persist when others might give up. And today, that ability had been the key to stabilizing the interdimensional lattice. The soft hum of the station filled the space as Alex approached the console. "I want to understand more," he said. "Not just about this lattice, but about your technology and methods. Humans could learn so much from your systems. You apply knowledge while considering consequences. This combination is powerful. The opportunity to gain insight into alien technology, to study interdimensional energy flows, and to apply it back to humanity was incredible." He realized that this station, and these two beings, represented not just an experience, but a bridge for humanity into a larger galaxy. Over the next few hours, Alex worked closely with Lyra and Tessa, studying their methods, asking questions, and observing subtle nuances in their processes. The lattice's energy continued to flow smoothly, responding to their combined guidance. Alex learned how they measured fluctuations, anticipated surges, and corrected errors before they became dangerous. He noted every detail, understanding that this knowledge could be crucial for future human missions in interstellar exploration. At one point, Tessa turned to him. "You understand the principles quickly. Your mind organizes patterns efficiently. Few species could grasp this level of complexity in such a short time. We have to adapt quickly to survive. That's how humans operate. When faced with challenges, we find solutions, even when others would fail. Today, humans have shown all three. That intelligence is not limited by species. You have demonstrated that humans, though underestimated, can rise to meet extraordinary challenges." Here, among beings who had mastered technology beyond imagination, Alex had shown that humans could make a difference, and that difference could be meaningful. As the day turned to night on Navara Prime, the station's lights dimmed in a gentle pattern, reflecting the steady energy of the lattice. Lyra gestured toward a nearby observation deck. "You may rest here," she said. "Your species requires recovery after extended focus. Even humans with capability must pause." The galaxy seemed vast, almost infinite, yet for the first time, Alex felt a personal connection to it. Humans were not insignificant. They were part of this larger universe, capable of learning, adapting, and contributing. As he rested, Lyra and Tessa continued their work, occasionally glancing at him with expressions that suggested both respect and curiosity. Alex realized that the bond formed today was rare, a mutual recognition of intelligence, trust, and potential. After a while, Lyra approached him with a small holographic device. "We have recorded the key aspects of today's collaboration. You may take this back with you to your species. The knowledge contained can guide future human missions. Thank you. Humanity will benefit immensely from this. For a moment there was silence, a quiet acknowledgement of what had been achieved. The crisis had tested them all, but it had also revealed a truth that Alex had long believed. Humans are capable of more than others expect, and when given the chance, they can rise to extraordinary challenges. Finally, Alex prepared to leave the station. Lyra and Tessa guided him through the corridors, showing him the safest paths back to the main docking bay. Along the way, they shared insights into alien technology, energy management, and interdimensional stability. Alex absorbed everything, knowing that this knowledge could change humanity's approach to space exploration. At the docking bay, Alex looked back at the station one last time. "Thank you," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "Not just for today, but for believing in humanity's potential. Demonstrate that intelligence is universal, and that collaboration across species can achieve what alone might be impossible." As the shuttle lifted from the docking bay, Alex gazed at the station shrinking in the distance. The lattice glowed like a heartbeat in the darkness, a reminder of the challenges overcome and the possibilities ahead. He thought of Earth, of humanity's explorers, scientists, and leaders, and he felt a surge of determination. This experience had shown him that humans were not merely surviving, they were capable of contributing, innovating, and thriving in the galaxy. The stars stretched endlessly before him, and Alex knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer uncertain. With courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to adapt, humans could rise to challenges that seemed impossible, form alliances with civilizations far advanced, and shape the future of the cosmos. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of opportunity. Today had proven something extraordinary, that even in the face of danger, complexity, and unknown forces, humans could shine. They were not defined by limitations, but by their ability to overcome them. As the shuttle entered faster-than-light travel, Alex allowed himself a small smile. The wrong room had led him to the right place. He had been tested, he had learned, and he had proven that humanity mattered. And now he carried not only knowledge but a message. Humans could rise to meet the universe, adapt to its challenges, and contribute in ways no one had expected. The stars blurred outside the viewport, streaking past as the shuttle leapt into hyperspace. Alex leaned back, feeling the calm and focus that comes after surviving a trial. Lyra and Tessa's words echoed in his mind, a reminder that intelligence, courage, and adaptability were universal qualities, and that humans had them in abundance. Humanity had taken its first true step into the larger galaxy. And Alex Harper, returning to Earth, knew that this was just the beginning of a journey that would reshape the future. He closed his eyes briefly, thinking of the lattice, the glowing energy, and the two alien women who had trusted him. He felt a deep connection not only to them but to the possibilities of humanity itself. They had shown him that humans could matter on a galactic scale, and he vowed to carry that truth back to his people. The shuttle hummed steadily, moving through the void. The galaxy stretched endlessly before him, full of mystery, challenge, and opportunity. And for the first time, Alex Harper felt that humans were truly ready for it.